Radical.
If you have followed this channel, you remember I had several uploads talking about Concord and how much of an absolute disaster it was for Sony. They put probably one of the biggest budgets I had ever seen into a video game, a live service game, and then it came out and it was promptly pulled and canceled. That kind of thing doesn't happen every day. That might have been, I might be wrong here, that might have been the most amount of money that's ever been spent on a game project to just have it be canceled. Absolute disaster. It cannot be understated how much of a disaster that was, how big of a fail that was for Sony. Well, there's ramifications. There's aftershocks even coming from that. Because it seems like Sony keep canceling live service games. I knew there was one or two, but there's a lot of games here I'm reading that have been canceled by Sony projects. And they actually have canceled 10 live service games in 3 years. So this is not all because of Concord. I guess they've been on this cancellation spree for the past 3 years, but it didn't help a whole lot. Let me break down the list for you of what was canceled. And as I list these, we'll think about how viable they could be, how profitable these might be as live service games, and honestly, how cool they might have been to play, as free to play live service type games. 2022, Spider-Man The Great Web from Insomniac. Damn, that might have actually been good. I don't really like live service games a whole lot. There's a couple that are, I don't want to be that guy that says I just don't like any live service games. I'm sure there's a couple out there that are really good and that are not dependent upon you, paying actual money to enjoy yourself in the game. So I want to be open-minded here. But I'm more traditionally, just so everybody knows, I'm more traditionally an offline player. And that's perfectly fine if you're mostly an online player. I'm mostly a traditional offline player, but to each their own. That might have been good just because of the developer behind it. Insomniac has a great track record, and that was the first of these in 2022. 2023 by another great developer, Naughty Dog. You all know I didn't like I like a certain choice that they made, a choice or two in Last of Us 2, but I got to give the props to Naughty Dog for being one of the best developers around. The Last of Us Online. That's intriguing. You think that would have worked out really well? The Last of Us Online? A deviation from, an unknown game from Deviation. I can't speak to that because it's an unknown game. And of course, Concord by Firewalk, canceled in 2024. Ooh, this one's kind of, I didn't hear about this one. Some of these on the list I heard about before, but Payback, a Destiny spinoff by Bungie. That was canceled in 2024. How is Destiny doing, by the way? I haven't played Destiny in a long time. Any of you still play Destiny? Man, looking at these developers, Insomniac, Naughty Dog, Bungie. Man, to have Bungie back doing Halo games, I think most people would agree. 343 has not done any great service to the Halo franchise. Wouldn't it be just amazing somehow if Bungie could get back and start making some Halo games? I'm just, that's so, damn. I'm just thinking about how much of a disaster in the Xbox One and Xbox Series X generation Halo has been versus the first two Xbox consoles. Has there been any bigger of a drop-off in a franchise than Halo that you can think of? I don't know. Ooh, Twisted Metal, one of my favorites, man. I love Twisted Metal, specifically Twisted Metal 2 on the original PS1. Fire Sprite making a Twisted Metal game. I never heard of Fire Sprite, but that was going to be a live service game. That's interesting right there. That's a lot different than, let's say, Fortnite. A lot of people that play Fortnite and everything, and Project, whatever the fuck it's called, Project Player Unknowns, yeah. You could tell I don't really play a whole lot of these live service games. But damn, I would maybe log in for a free-to-play Twisted Metal game. That's the one here I'm thinking, like, that's a big loss. That is a franchise you almost forget Sony still has. Sony still fucking has Twisted Metal. I know it's not the most popular types of games now, car combat, but I think people would pop for a new Twisted Metal game. Neon Koi making an unknown game. Again, can't speak to it because it's an unknown game. London Studio, an unknown fantasy game. Oh, NCSoft, this is a big one. Well, right before that one, Ben Studio, an unknown game. NCSoft 2024 making Horizon MMO. Horizon MMO. Yeah, but the thing about that is I heard that there's actually plans for a Horizon MMO, but it's going to be made by Guerrilla, which is a good thing. You know, generally, unless it's a great developer, you want the original developer of the game making, you know, any type of game going with what they started with. But a Horizon MMO, reportedly, they're going to be waiting to the PlayStation 6 generation to come up with it. And that's just, you know, that's just reporting here that I'm reading here. If that's the case, and also it says here, the targeted release of the PlayStation 6 is the end of 2027? Are you fucking serious? It doesn't even seem like we're halfway through this generation yet, but they're already pointing to 2027 for the PS6. What the hell? At this point, it's 2025 shit, you know? A lot of people might just, you know, skip the PS5 entirely, and if that's the case, just get a PS6 and everything. Might be a little bit smaller, too. An actual slim type of system. But, yeah, so there's that. Horizon might be coming. So of all these games listed that are canceled, there's still hope for Horizon, a MMO. And last, from Bluepoint, God of War multiplayer. Boy. The fuck, man? I don't know how that would even work. A God of War multiplayer? It seems like that's more of a traditional... The ones I played on the PlayStation 2 and 3, I haven't got around to playing the PS4 ones. I have them, just haven't got around to it, sadly. God, I need to make some time to play those. But that's... Like, I could see how, like, a Twisted Metal could translate into online multiplayer type deal, but there's no guns. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Kratos doesn't have any guns. And usually, not always, but usually, a live service game involves people shooting at each other. Either with cars, either with guns. 90% of them, live service type games that I've seen, people shooting at each other. So unless they strap an AK on Kratos, I don't know exactly how a game like that would really work. A live service God of War game. I mean, I get it how, you know, God of War is very popular, and it's a franchise Sony has, but it's not exactly like something like Gears of War or Halo that could translate seamlessly into like a live service type game. That seems kind of confusing to me.